ready to go for a rip, Pepper? Aren't you going? You going for a ride, Freya? This is what baby wearing's for, right? So you can go for a quad ride?
Yeah.
Totally legit. So we're out here at the pond, and I'm starting to get bit by mosquitoes, and I was like, dang it, I forgot bug spray. And then I remembered Mac has this old camera case that he's got like knives and a flint and a headlamp and all these things. He packs this with him most places, and he added bug spray to it. That kid cracks me up. Also, they have like their BB guns. I got my water bottle. I got my blowtorch. Oh, there's an empty can. Empty. This quad box is quite something. It's mostly been my garden rig recently, so I got seeds, more empty pots, shotgun for bears. I'm thankful for this bug spray. So I'm hiding under the trees because it was pouring rain. Mosquitoes. This place is the worst for mosquitoes. Right here by the pond, our house has a breeze. We have barely any mosquitoes there, but here the mosquitoes are not good. So for people who are cooking from scratch or wanting to get more into cooking from scratch and learning to cook from scratch and all that sort of things, I get asked often, like, how do I get ahead? Like, I'm always cooking and washing dishes and all those sort of things, and how do I ever get ahead? So the idea of freezer cooking is often overwhelming, although it is a good tool for getting ahead. But it's hard if you don't have a big freezer and this and that, and you don't have a bunch of time to commit to it. And the idea of doubling dinners is not always, oh man, these mosquitoes are driving me crazy, is not always really plausible either. So my best tactic for getting ahead that I use pretty much every day, all year long, no matter what season I'm in, is at least once a day, I try to cook double of something. So, yesterday, I cooked double the potatoes that I needed. Actually, triple the potatoes I needed. For dinner, I cooked triple the potatoes I needed in the Instant Pot. Or you can do it in the oven or whatever. So today, potatoes with dinner are easy. I just have to warm them up. It's already there. It's already started for me. I'm using the tails of yesterday's meal to start today's meal. On Sunday, I cooked a big ham. We're going to eat that for days. But it can also be like you make pancakes for breakfast. Can you make double the pancakes? You're making cookies. Can you double and put some in the freezer? I'm making a soup. Can you, even if you don't want to make loads of soup, could you make extra broth and put some in the freezer? Could you make double the muffins you need, so that not even putting them in the freezer, just being for the next day, make more than you need, which depending on your family size is easier or harder. You know how that goes. Some really cheap things to make extra of, though, is always make double the rice you need, so then tomorrow or later in the week you can take that leftover rice, and rice is like dirt cheap, guys, and leftover odds and ends of meat and whatever and some eggs, and you can make fried rice. It's an excellent fun meal, and rice is cheap, so it's never one that you're like, oh, I'd like to double this part, but I can't quite swing it in my grocery budget this month. Rice is cheap. You cook chili and there's not quite enough leftover chili for another meal, but if you make some extra baked potatoes, you could have chili on baked potatoes. It just try to think of things as a rolling process, not like today's food, tomorrow's food, the next day's food. You're cooking a roast chicken. Can you make 2 roast chickens? And then tomorrow you can pick off some of that chicken meat and you can have sandwiches, or you can make something else with it, and then you can make soup broth, and then you make soup. And try to think of food as a rolling process. So I made sausage rolls today, which are a great afternoon snack, but I wouldn't make it for just a snack. That would feel like more of an effort than I wanted to put in for a snack. But Marius can have them in his lunches for a couple days, so that's excellent. Now I've got a couple days worth of lunches stuff figured out for him. When it comes to vegetables, can you roast some extra vegetables? Can you make 2 salads and put one in a bag or a container in the fridge ready for tomorrow? You're cutting up veggies and dip. Can you make extra veggies, like cut up raw veggies, put them in a container or a bag in the fridge? And tomorrow at dinner time, you just have to grab them out. That's like my favorite thing. Just grabbing out the veggies, they're already ready for you. When it comes to breakfast, we do a lot of making extras, whether it's pancakes, waffles, French toast, those sort of carby things I find really conducive to making lots of. My main goal when it comes to food, and especially dinners, I don't want to cook 100% of dinner every night. I like to have the rolling process so that every night I'm making a couple things, and I'm making a bunch of those couple things so that the next night they can become something else, and the next night they can become something else. And when people are like, I don't like leftovers, and I'm like, maybe you're not cooking delicious food to start off with. Oh, some flowers. Thank you, Freya. You know, some food, admittedly, is not the best leftovers. Most things, I can think of very few things that aren't good left. Caesar salad. Dressed salad? Nope. I don't do leftover dressed salad. Not happening for me. I got given some nice flowers by Freya. Another way you can frame it is that today's self is helping tomorrow's self. So, you know, today's self is going to thank me that I made sausage rolls, and that tomorrow they're an easy snack and easy lunch for Marius. And, you know, today's self is thanking yesterday's self who made extra potatoes, because that made dinner easy. And, you know, today's Kate really likes Sunday's Kate that baked that big ham so I can eat ham multiple times this week. You know, just, it's how I give myself gratitude for keeping on with it. Because the other thing, you can hold tight a second, Mac. You guys dragged me out here, and now you want to leave already. There's nothing to do. Oh goodness, what are you ever going to do with all this lovely forest and pond and everything? Your life is so hard and you have nothing to do, children. Okay. Because most of the time making extra of something doesn't really make many more dishes, and it doesn't take you double the time to do it. And it doesn't take double the dishes. But to be able to just pull out something, it's kind of like a double duty of like, one, your next meal you're going to have less dishes because you've already made something and it's waiting for you. And the other part is that when you look in the fridge and you're like, oh, I have that to use. Rice. Fried rice. I'll make fried rice. Or you look at the potatoes. Hey, we'll roast up some of those potatoes. You don't like fried rice with meat?
No.
What do you like in your fried rice?
Meat rolls.
You don't like sausage rolls?
Yeah. Me, make them out meat.
A sausage roll without meat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I hope you enjoyed my well, thank you, Freya. Enjoyed my rambles on how we keep food going in our house. Freya, oh goodness, she is now picking the meat out of a sausage roll. Okay, you're cut off from those, kid. Oh dear. Why don't you give it to Pepper? She would like that.
I'm gonna